Well, bloody hell, Liverpool have just gone to the Emirates and essentially robbed the Arsenal fans in their own back garden. I'm not saying we didn't deserve something from this match, but I think if I say otherwise, my nose might grow. In a game which could have title-defining ramifications, there were a few key things that jumped to the surface quicker than Martinelli hit the surface during the match, and we're going to discuss them right here, right now. Welcome to Good Squad Reviews, and this is 5 things we learned from Arsenal 2, Liverpool 2. Let me know in the comments down below if this is the type of video you'd like to see more often, and make sure to click subscribe while you're doing so. Number 5, Konate has been Liverpool's best defender this season. Now, before everyone comes at me with enough hatred to resemble a Jose Mourinho press conference, I am not saying that Ibrahima Konate is a better player than Virgil van Dijk or that he will ever reach the same level as the club's captain. But what I am saying is that Konate has arguably been more impressive than Van Dijk in defence during the first quarter of this season. In a match where Trent couldn't stop wandering to save his life, probably looking for that Ballon d'Or he was talking about, Konate was deployed as the deepest of Liverpool backline and offered that extra level of pace to protect the space in behind Trent, with him winning several races against Martinelli during the first half and winning 2 tackles as well as 3 aerial duels. Not only that, but his anticipation to track back was second to none, with one key moment in the second half being when Martinelli managed to get into the left-hand side of the box, only to be bested by Konate, who tracked right the way back from the halfway line and the centre of the pitch to win the tackle and maintain possession of the ball, which set Liverpool off on the counter-attack, which eventually led to the vital second goal. And the cherry on top was the French monster's excellent distribution skills taken right from Van Dijk himself, as the defender made 3 long balls, 2 of them hitting their intended target, and he was always looking to progress the ball into the central players of the pitch to get the attack moving in the right direction. No doubt Konate is only improving game after game, and honestly, if he can stay injury-free, then he'll only get better. This performance was a statement one from the French monster. Number 4, Robertson struggled, and not for the first time. While it's easy to point at Andrew Robertson and say bad cause old, it's simply not true, and the left back is still considered one of the best in the division. However, with that being said, it's becoming increasingly clear that the club needs to start looking to the future when it comes to this part of the pitch. Against Bukayo Saka, Robertson was caught out massively at points, most notable of which was during the first goal for the Gunners, where Robertson was outpaced and mistimed his tackle, allowing the English winger to score his 50th Premier League goal in convincing fashion. Now, I'm by no means saying that Robertson should have been faultless against one of the best wingers in Europe, but this is a problem we've seen at multiple points already this season, including against Madueke when Chelsea made the trip to Anfield, and when Liverpool faced Wolves back in September, where Matheus Cunha made life incredibly difficult for the long-serving Red. Against Arsenal, the stats back up the suggestion that Robertson had a rough night, with him being dribbled past twice and only winning 2 of his 4 ground duels. And while this isn't the worst, he also struggled to create anything going forward, with a pass completion rate of 73% going alongside his 3 failed crosses and 9 moments where he lost possession. This is far from the worst performance ever, but Robertson is someone who we're expecting to decline more and more as time goes on, and by no means does he need immediately replacing, but the club do need to consider future-proofing sooner rather than later. Number 3, Szoboszlai is doing the dirty work. I've been of the opinion this season that Dominic Szoboszlai has been pretty underwhelming, with only picking up 1 goal this campaign and 3 assists. Not awful, but considering how big of an impact Gravenberch, McAllister and even Curtis Jones have had, it's not the greatest. With that being said, I think a lot of people miss what Szoboszlai offers this Liverpool team, and that is relentless pressing, and this match against Arsenal showed just how minimally aggressive Liverpool are without the Hungarian captain on the pitch, with the midfield being exposed on a regular basis during this game and providing Arsenal with a number of different avenues to attack. And while it's easier said than done going through the middle and facing 2 stone statues that are Virgil van Dijk and Konate, it does offer different ways of getting the ball to the likes of Saka and Martinelli, which we saw time and time again. That was until Szoboszlai came on in the 63rd minute and immediately added the zip back into the Reds midfield, pressing the likes of Rice and Marino and allowing Gravenberch to drop deeper and offer that added layer of midfield protection, which they lacked massively at points. Not only that, but because of the work rate he provided, it drew players out of position to cover him, and this allowed Salah the opportunity to push out wide and offer a different option for Trent going forward, which we saw in the 81st minute when he was able to cut inside and score the goal to get Liverpool level. Szoboszlai has been criticised by Arne Slot himself for his lack of goals and assists, but his work rate and determination to move the ball forward benefits the club massively. Number 2, Arsenal are definitely title contenders. It's a bit of an obvious observation to point out given the way the past 2 seasons have gone with regards to Arsenal's development under Arteta, but yesterday's match showed that Arsenal are ready to win a league title and have the squad capable of doing so. Now, we saw 2 years ago how much Arsenal struggled following the absence of William Saliba towards the end of the season, with them dropping points to the likes of Brighton and already relegated Southampton. But fast forward to just under 48 hours ago, and the club were once again without Saliba due to suspension, club captain Martin Ødegaard, who's arguably the club's most important player going forward, and during the match itself, the side lost both Gabriel and Timber to injuries, and yet despite all this, they managed to put Liverpool to the sword at points, even bringing on youngster Miles Lewis-Skelly instead of experienced Alexander Zinchenko, which just represents how deep the Arsenal squad is and how the system they operate under is a perfect fit for all of them. The first goal may have come from a piece of individual brilliance from Saka, but the second goal was down to super set-piece organisation and overall desire to win the ball. Yes, they've dropped points this season already, but against the Liverpool side in good form, who've won 11 of their 12 matches this season, Arsenal didn't look out of place at all and showed they have a fight and desire which can push Liverpool and even Manchester City all the way. And number 1, Nunez may not be a big game player. I will defend Darwin Nunez until the cows come home. With his relentless pressing and determination to win the ball back regardless of the situation, the perfect embodiment of what Liverpool fans look for in a player. But even I have to admit that the striker rarely does struggle in these so-called big game matches, with this match showing he may in fact be out of his depth. During the full 90 minutes, Nunez lost possession 8 times and only recorded a pass completion rate of 76%. And while this could be excused as attackers aren't renowned for their world-class passing abilities and more for their talent to score goals, you have to actually shoot to do that. And during the vital, potentially title-defining match, Nunez not only didn't record a shot on target, but he didn't register a single shot or match as the club's main striker through the middle. Yes, of course, he did register an assist, and there is an opinion that if this was 1 year ago, the man madder than Charles Bronson would have shot instead of passing to Salah to turn to provider. But the main thing that fans are clamouring for from Nunez is goals, and at the moment, we just aren't getting it, and it seems to be a pattern that he fails to score against the so-called big teams in the Premier League, with only 3 of his 21 Premier League goals coming against the Big 6 opposition, and 2 of them came in Liverpool's 7-0 win over Manchester United. I'm not suggesting that Nunez doesn't have a place in this Liverpool team, but this match showed just how much of a passenger he can be at points, and against title contenders, that's something that can't happen. And that is our list. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this style of video, and make sure to click like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one.